Alright, how y'all doing today? This is just another video that I decided to speak upon. Now, we heard what Kanye West said when he said that slavery was a choice. But I'm not coming on the ideology of Kanye West. But I wanted to elaborate on that statement because slavery was a choice, and it wasn't your choice, it was your ancestors' choice. And if we was if your ancestors was doing the right thing and they was on top of they lifestyles that they were supposed to be on top, then maybe slavery would have never occurred to our peoples. But all this stuff is stated within the text of the what we call the Bible today, and that's what we're going to look over right now. Let's start.
Chapter 12. The word of the Lord also came unto me, saying, Son of man, thou dwellest in the midst of a rebellious house, which have eyes to see and see not, they have ears to hear and hear not, for they are a rebellious house. Therefore, thou son of man, prepare thee stuff for removing, and remove by day in their sight, and thou shalt remove from thy place to another place in their sight. It may be they will consider, though they be a rebellious house. Then shalt thou bring forth thy stuff by day in their sight, as stuff for removing. And thou shalt go forth at even in their sight, as they that go forth into captivity. Dig thou through the wall in their sight, and carry out thereby. In their sight shalt thou bear it upon thy shoulders, and carry it forth in the twilight. Thou shalt cover thy face, that thou see not the ground, for I have set thee for a sign unto the house of Israel. And I did so as I was commanded. I brought forth my stuff by day, as stuff for captivity, and in the even I digged through the wall with mine hand. I brought it forth in the twilight, and I bare it upon my shoulder in their sight. And in the morning came the word of the Lord unto me, saying, Son of man, hath not the house of Israel, the rebellious house, said unto thee, What doest thou? Say thou unto them, Thus saith the Lord God, This burden concerneth the prince in Jerusalem, and all the house of Israel that are among them. Say, I am your sign. Like as I have done, so shall it be done unto them. They shall remove and go into captivity. And the prince that is among them shall bear upon his shoulder in the twilight, and shall go forth. They shall dig through the wall to carry out thereby. He shall cover his face, that he see not the ground with his eyes. My net also will I spread upon him, and he shall be taken in my snare, and I will bring him to Babylon, to the land of the Chaldeans. Yet shall he not see it, though he shall die there. And I will scatter toward every wind all that are about him to help him, and all his bands, and I will draw out the sword after them. And they shall know that I am the Lord, when I shall scatter them among the nations, and disperse them in the countries. But I will leave a few men of them from the sword, from the famine, and from the pestilence, that they may declare all their abominations among the heathen whither they come, and they shall know that I am the Lord. Moreover, the word of the Lord came to me, saying, Son of man, eat thy bread with quaking, and drink thy water with trembling and with carefulness, and say unto the people of the land, Thus saith the Lord God of the inhabitants of Jerusalem and of the land of Israel, They shall eat their bread with carefulness, and drink their water with astonishment, that their land may be desolate from all that is therein, because of the violence of all them that dwell therein. And the cities that are inhabited shall be laid waste, and the land shall be desolate, and ye shall know that I am the Lord. And the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, what is that proverb that ye have in the land of Israel, saying, The days are prolonged, and every vision faileth? Tell them, therefore, Thus saith the Lord God, I will make this proverb to cease, and they shall no more use it as a proverb in Israel, but say unto them, The days are at hand, and the effect of every vision. For there shall be no more any vain vision nor flattering divination within the house of Israel. For I am the Lord, I will speak, and the word that I shall speak shall come to pass. It shall be no more prolonged, for in your days, O rebellious house, will I say the word, and will perform it, saith the Lord God. Again the word of the Lord came to me, saying, Son of man, behold, they of the house of Israel say, The vision that he seeth is for many days to come, and he prophesieth of the times that are far off. Therefore say unto them, Thus saith the Lord God, There shall none of my words be prolonged any more, but the word which I have spoken shall be done, saith the Lord.
Okay, so like in my previous video, I already expounded to you that, children of Israel are what we call right now black people, you know. So as you can see in the lives of black people, majority that are scattered across the nations, that they are suffering and they are going through, you know, trials and tribulations and vexations of spirit, you know. And all this stuff was pronounced previously, you know, in the Old Testament, like in Deuteronomy. You know, a lot of people would like to expound upon Deuteronomy chapter 28, you know, and then the curses which, you know, most of our people bear. You know, my people are Yoruba, and Yorubas are scattered all over the earth. Yorubas are in a situation where as though they don't have a nation. They used to have land. It used to be called Yoruba land, right? But it's not Yoruba land no more. It's Nigeria, right? And then a lot of Nigerians who are Yoruba are into Christianity and into Islam, you know. And God never gave the children of Israel Islam. He never gave them Christianity, you know. That's something that newly came up. Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob never prayed to Allah, you know, and never prayed to Jesus either. So we shall continue and review, you know, what was already stated and what has happened and what is going on now. Slavery was a choice, because if the children of Israel was to listen and had obeyed the words and commandments of the Most High, they would have been the greatest nation on earth.
Hear, O my people, and I will testify unto thee, O Israel, if thou wilt hearken unto me. There shall no strange god be in thee, neither shalt thou worship any strange god. I am the Lord thy God, which brought thee out of the land of Egypt. Open thy mouth wide, and I will fill it. But my people would not hearken to my voice, and Israel would none of me. So I gave them up unto their own heart's lust, and they walked in their own counsels. Oh, that my people had hearkened unto me, and Israel had walked in my ways! I should soon have subdued their enemies, and turned my hand against their adversaries. The haters of the Lord should have submitted themselves unto him, but their time should have endured forever. He should have fed them also with the finest of the wheat, and with honey out of the rock should I have satisfied thee.
Like we looking at the UK, and we looking at America, and we looking at the Israelis, you know what I mean? Those people who claim to be children of Israel, or claiming to be Jewish or Jews, you know, but they on top right now. They the strongest, one of the strongest nations on earth. So we shall go and continue to see what thus saith the Lord. All right.
And the Lord said unto Moses, Behold, thy days approach that thou must die. Call Joshua, and present yourselves in the tabernacle of the congregation, that I may give him a charge. And Moses and Joshua went, and presented themselves in the tabernacle of the congregation. And the Lord appeared in the tabernacle in a pillar of a cloud, and the pillar of the cloud stood over the door of the tabernacle. And the Lord said unto Moses, Behold, thou shalt sleep with thy fathers, and this people will rise up, and go a-whoring after the gods of the strangers of the land, whither they go to be among them, and will forsake me, and break my covenant which I have made with them. Then my anger shall be kindled against them in that day, and I will forsake them, and I will hide my face from them, and they shall be devoured, and many evils and troubles shall befall them, so that they will say in that day, Are not these evils come upon us, because our God is not among us? And I will surely hide my face in that day for all the evils which they shall have wrought, in that they are turned unto other gods. Now therefore write ye this song for you, and teach it the children of Israel, put it in their mouths, that this song may be a witness for me against the children of Israel. For when I shall have brought them into the land which I swear unto their fathers, that floweth with milk and honey, and they shall have eaten and filled themselves, and waxen fat, then will they turn unto other gods, and serve them, and provoke me, and break my covenant. And it shall come to pass, when many evils and troubles are befallen them, that this song shall testify against them as a witness, for it shall not be forgotten out of the mouths of their seed. For I know their imagination which they go about, even now, before I have brought them into the land which I swear. Moses therefore wrote this song the same day, and taught it the children of Israel.
Okay, and like in one of my other videos, I had already went over the Song of Moses, right? And what the Song of Moses is supposed to do is to, you know, give the children of Israel an understanding of why they're in the situations that they are.
But Jeshurun waxed fat and kicked. Thou art waxen fat, thou art grown thick, thou art covered with fatness. Then he forsook God which made him, and lightly esteemed the rock of his salvation. They provoked him to jealousy with strange gods. With abominations provoked they him to anger. They sacrificed unto devils, not to gods whom they knew not, to new gods that came newly up, whom your fathers feared not. Of the rock that begat thee thou art unmindful, and hast forgotten God that formed thee. And when the Lord saw it, he abhorred them, because of the provoking of his sons and of his daughters. And he said, I will hide my face from them, I will see what their end shall be. For they are a very froward generation, children in whom is no faith. They have moved me to jealousy with that which is not God. They have provoked me to anger with their vanities. And I will move them to jealousy with those which are not a people. I will provoke them to anger with a foolish nation.
Now I told you that my people bear all the curses which is written in Deuteronomy chapter 28, and even other curses that have been pronounced upon the children of Israel. Because God states that the children of Israel will be fighting amongst each other. Ephraim will be fighting against Judah. Judah will be fighting against Manasseh. You know what I'm saying? And they won't be together. And that's what we see right now as we speak.
The people turneth not unto him that smiteth them, neither do they seek the Lord of hosts. Therefore the Lord will cut off from Israel head and tail, branch and rush, in one day. The ancient and honorable, he is the head, and the prophet that teacheth lies, he is the tail. For the leaders of this people cause them to err, and they that are led of them are destroyed. Therefore the Lord shall have no joy in their young men, neither shall have mercy on their fatherless and widows. For every one is an hypocrite and an evildoer, and every mouth speaketh folly. For all this his anger is not turned away, but his hand is stretched out still. For wickedness burneth as the fire, it shall devour the briers and thorns, and shall kindle in the thickets of the forest, and they shall mount up like the lifting up of smoke. Through the wrath of the Lord of hosts is the land darkened, and the people shall be as the fuel of the fire. No man shall spare his brother. And he shall snatch on the right hand, and be hungry, and he shall eat on the left hand, and they shall not be satisfied. They shall eat every man the flesh of his own arm. Manasseh Ephraim, and Ephraim Manasseh, and they together shall be against Judah. For all this his anger is not turned away, but his hand is stretched out still.
Alright, so I'm about to wrap this up, but we can see here throughout the verses that I put up that slavery was a choice. It was punishment for breaking the covenant of God. Now, the children of Israel never broke the covenant of God, and right now, as they are scattered across the earth, they are still breaking the covenant of God. God cannot or will not come to your salvation only when you do what Deuteronomy chapter 30 states.
Chapter 30. And it shall come to pass, when all these things are come upon thee, the blessing and the curse which I have set before thee, and thou shalt call them to mind among all the nations, whither the Lord thy God hath driven thee, and shalt return unto the Lord thy God, and shalt obey his voice according to all that I command thee this day, thou and thy children, with all thine heart and with all thy soul, that then the Lord thy God will turn thy captivity, and have compassion upon thee, and will return and gather thee from all the nations, whither the Lord thy God hath scattered thee. If any of thine be driven out unto the outmost parts of heaven, from thence will the Lord thy God gather thee, and from thence will he fetch thee. And the Lord thy God will bring thee into the land which thy fathers possessed, and thou shalt possess it, and he will do thee good, and multiply thee above thy fathers. And the Lord thy God will circumcise thine heart, and the heart of thy seed, to love the Lord thy God with all thine heart, and with all thy soul, that thou mayest live. And the Lord thy God will put all these curses upon thine enemies, and on them that hate thee, which persecute thee. And thou shalt return, and obey the voice of the Lord, and do all his commandments which I command thee this day.
Alright, so Deuteronomy chapter 30 is a future prophecy which still must come to pass. And it can't come to pass if you out here worshiping idols still. Still claiming Islam. If you still claiming Christianity. You understand? Because God didn't give Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob Christianity or Islam. All right? So that's not anything of the forefathers. God gave his people his judgments and statutes, which he expects you to execute. All right? So slavery was a choice, because if the children of Israel never broke the covenant of God, they would never be in this predicament. You understand? They still be on the land. They'll still be exercising, and God still will be in the midst of them. All right? So have a good day. Thank you for listening. I know I take my time, but hopefully you gain some information. All right. See y'all later. I want you to have a good day. Just have a good day. I wish you a very good day. Just have a good day. I want you to have a good day. Just have a good day. I wish you a very good day. Just have a good day. Oh yeah, hit me up on my Facebook page if you want to comment, or you want to just hit me up personally. The link is right here. Just hit me up and I'll make sure that I get with you. All right. Have a good day. Continue to have a good day. All right. Pardon me if you choose not to acknowledge me, cause I'm not the type that give way to the fuckery. That's why some of y'all might not wanna fuck with me. Motivate like pottery, and these words I speak come from inside of me. Words for the masses to lift the academy. If you can't comprehend,